Hey, so I recently just finished playing the story mode of Atomfall, which is a game that came out pretty recently, and I didn't really hear too much about it, but it was on Game Pass, and from what it looked like on the trailers and stuff, it looked a lot like Fallout, but in a different sort of setting. The whole premise is similar. There's a reactor, atomic bombs didn't fall, but there's an atomic reactor that blew up, and you're stuck in this place, and you're kind of just trying to figure it out, but it's set in Europe because you have these telephones, and you can hear it in the voices and stuff. And I think they also mention certain cities that are in the area and stuff. But it does. So when the game first starts, I got pretty excited because it does kind of look, or it feels kind of like Fallout 4 or Fallout 76, some of the newer ones. And I like Fallout a lot. But the thing is, oh, look, there's a dead guy right here. The thing is, your inventory, there's a couple of things that I didn't like about this game. The first one being your inventory. You're limited to 12 slots. Well, technically 16. You can have 4 large items and 12 small items, and they don't stack either. So if you need multiple bandages or healing, they take up like space, which you do need multiple because I guess it also depends on your settings that you're playing on. I'm playing on challenging, so it's not the hardest difficulty, but it's not easy. Basically, the game's not hard, but there are times when you're fighting enemies, which I thought there were enemies here. I think I just killed them. But whenever you engage in combat with enemies, the whole map basically gets warned about your presence. And so, unlike other games where usually you'll encounter a group of maybe two, three people, maybe five at most, and then that's kind of like the end of that room or that little section. And if you venture further, there could be more. Oh, so this is an exception. This guy's here. I'm trying to find other NPCs because this guy's alone in here. This is kind of like one of the first sections of the game. Um, and it kind of brings me to one of my other points. Well, I'm always all over the place. What I was trying to say is this game gets a little difficult because resources are pretty scarce, but not only are they scarce, you're also limited, obviously, on how much you can carry, but also how many bullets you can carry. So the enemies don't die extremely fast, and you actually kind of burn through your ammo pretty quick. And then when you're trying to discover and look around in the map, sometimes you're capped out on some of your bullets, and if you are capped out, then it just kind of limits your ability to engage in multiple fights and stuff in different sections of the map. And then it takes a while because you find 1 to 3 bullets at a time, and that's you find them pretty rarely. They don't come out very often. And so if you're finding 1 to 3 bullets at a time and you use almost all of them in an interaction, and the reason you would use them in an interaction, like in a fight, is because, as I was saying, there's no way that killed me. Okay, we dropped from the same side, same height. But as I was saying, you can start fighting somebody in this little area. It'll be like 2 people, and then it sort of makes sense because if you're shooting or something, it makes noise. But as I mentioned, in other games, usually you don't sort of trigger all of the nearby enemies. It's sort of maybe 5 at once, but here, literally, you'll have like 20, 25 people coming at you, and they won't they won't stop. They'll come from like all different directions. They'll hear you from super far. Usually, if you get like a ping of somebody is near you, you'll get like a little red marker, or like an exclamation point, or whatever it may be for the game. They'll be maybe up to there, right? But in this game, somebody can spot you and start shooting you from like all the way over there, which is kind of crazy because sometimes you can't see them at all, or like you kind of can. Okay, an enemy. are. Um, but yeah, that's what I was trying to say about that, and the resources in this game. Because, as I mentioned, if you're trying to fight 20 people at once, you need to have your healing, and you only have 16 slots. You also need space for whatever you're carrying for the quest, which is these are for quests. You can get poisoned. There's status effects and everything. There's throwables to obviously help you win the fights and stuff, and then whatever other guns like pistols are small items, so they fit here. And then also, I don't even have any melee weapons because every single melee weapon also takes up a slot. So it's hard to balance your inventory. And also, in terms of inventory, there is technically a bigger like stash inventory that you can access at some point. But the thing is, you have to find these little pneumatic tubes or whatever they're called, and you store them in that tube inventory. But the thing is, in the entire game, I think I only saw maybe 3 or 4. And so, if you ever need to actually store something or get something, it's hard to find them. But um, so look, that symbol is that guy there. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but he just has really good eyesight. But usually in games, they don't trigger from that far. But that takes me to my next thing, which, I'm trying to find enemies to sort of fight and explain what I'm seeing and experiencing. But my biggest thing about this game is the fact that there is no fast travel in this game. The map isn't massive, but there are like 5 different regions. And the thing is, in order to get to the next region, like this is the interchange, whatever it's called, this is Wyndham Village. So it tells you where to go. We can only drop markers. There's no fast travel. So if I want to go all the way to whatever Skillermore, I have to go from where I am, which is here's to Latindale, find these caves, navigate the caves, go through the cave, and then end up out of the cave at Slithermore or Skillermore. And if I want to go like over here, like there's so much walking, and it's like you can run, I guess, but you also have a stamina system, which makes sense. I'm not saying that the stamina system is bad. Like, this game does a lot of things well. Like, it was fun. I enjoyed playing the game, but the lack of the fast travel system, it prevented me from wanting to actually do all of the side stuff, because almost always in these kinds of games, I spend so much time exploring and doing side missions and stuff, and I have some of these right here, but the problem is I don't want to travel, like, basically, you'd have to go, like, one of the entrances to the mine, yeah, it's all the way over there, like, down that way, and it's not only just the fact that you have to walk, like, it's the scarce resources and stuff, too, so you have to go through this whole map either sneaking or trying to find, like, ways around enemies, or you have to fight the enemies, and your resources are so scarce that you can only do it for so many times, and it ends up like I don't want the game to be easy. I don't need the game to be easy. It's fine, but you're trying to manage inventory, trying to manage uh discovering places, trying to fight enemies, trying to survive, trying to actually do the story, trying to do side quests. It's it's hard, and honestly, the whole game or all these problems could be solved with just introducing fast travel. I don't know why they didn't have fast travel in this game. That's literally, it would fix it, because the difficulty, it doesn't go away, but it makes it a lot more manageable, because, if you need to escape or if you need to travel somewhere, then you can, just go to that place, and if you're low on resources, then you can avoid those fights if needed, and then you can come back to the area, which is fine. Like, I'm not trying to bypass the entire game. Some stuff there's times where you need to take a break basically from all the action, because there was a time where I had 2 bullets in like this gun or in my shotgun, and I was in this whole military camp, and they have these giant robots. They have 50 people in there. They have turrets. They have all these things going on all at once. And then if you suck like I do and you miss all your bullets, dude, look at how many people there. It's also, which I mean, it's like kind of the difficulty. I don't need this game to be easy, but oh my god, when you pause or when you look in your inventory, usually games will pause. This game doesn't, so you kind of have to. Which also I don't like that you're only given 4 quick access items. Because if you need to change anything during a fight, you can't. Or, I mean, obviously you can, but, like, I'm looking for a grenade right here. And, yeah, it's just, I wouldn't mind taking these fights, but the thing is, I'm down to 10 shotgun shells, no melee weapons, and I'm gonna be able to, you know, fight these guys off, but if I had to travel across 2 whole regions at this point right now, I have 4 arrows, 7 shotgun shells. Like, I have some bullets, and, you know, just kind of get good and don't miss your shots, but, you know, I kind of suck, so. But the story is fine. It wasn't very, like, engaging or captivating. Like, it wasn't bad, but I feel like it was kind of bland. It was just, like I said earlier, a reactor blew up. You're in this place where the reactor blew up. There's like a field happening, and then like you don't know why you can't leave, but then you have this guy in the telephone and those phone booths talking to you and says, "Oh, we gotta blow up this thing," and then so you're given a couple of different options. You can either blow up the thing that the guy's talking about, or you can save the thing, or you can empower the thing, and there's different endings to this game. I think there's like 4 or 5 different endings, which I think is cool because, you know, you can replay the game a couple times, but it's also, I wouldn't want to play the game again because it takes so long just to do anything because of the lack of fast travel. If the game has fast travel, then it wouldn't feel as bad because it took about 12 hours to get through the main game, but I feel like almost half of that was just walking. Like I could have finished the main game in like 5 hours, 6 hours, and then I could replay it and then find a new ending, or even if I didn't replay it, instead of just doing the story in about 5 hours or so, I could actually complete the game, all the side quests and everything, if I was granted fast travel, but the walking is just so much work, and I just rather not. And so I skipped a lot of side stuff, unfortunately, which I don't like doing. I like doing all the side quests. I like seeing the entirety of the game. Like, this is all new stuff for me because I kind of skipped this area. But, it's like I'm saying all this and it sounds mostly bad, but it's not a bad game. It's just a game that could have been done much better. And if you're thinking of it, like if you like Fallout and you like exploration, you like open world and stuff, then you'd probably still like the game. But if you don't like walking, like if you enjoy walking simulators as well, then it'd probably be fine because, you know, you spend a lot of time walking. And if you're fine with that, I'd say give it a try. But I think it's priced at like $50. And for a game that I got through in 12 hours, which didn't feel like a real 12 hours because, as I mentioned, a lot of that was walking, I feel like that's kind of high. I'd probably price this at like 30, maybe? And even then, I'd probably wait for a sale if I were to recommend this. But it is a little hard to recommend because of the way the game plays. But that's basically it. I had enough fun. It was good enough to actually finish the game, and I'm gonna give it like 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's fine. if you have Game Pass, give it a try. If you're actually looking at it, if not, I'd say wait for a sale. Definitely, I would not spend the $50, but that's just me. Let me know if you try it, and let me know what other games I should review. And I'll see you all in the next video.